Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're breaking down the game plan for sportswear brand ON, and we're getting it straight from the CEO, Martin Hoffmann. We're going to focus just on his opening remarks from the Q3 2025 earnings call, because that's where you really find the blueprint for everything they're doing.
All right, so let's just park it right here for a second, because everything, and I mean everything, hinges on this one sentence. They're not just aiming to be another successful company. No way. Their goal is to be the most premium global sports brand, period. This isn't some fluffy mission statement they hang on a wall. It's their North Star. It's what guides every single move they make.
So let's get into what premium actually means to them. And right off the bat, you gotta understand, it is not about slapping a high price tag on something. It's way, way deeper than that. It's about an emotion.
And here it is. This is the key. The CEO says premium is an emotion. It's something that gets built up in a fan's mind over time. You have to earn it. Think about that for a second. That is a massive shift in thinking, right? They're not just in the business of selling products. They're in the business of engineering a very specific feeling.
Okay, so how do you actually create an emotion? Well, for them, it all comes down to this mix of craftsmanship, precision, and just top-notch design. It's like they're making a promise, a promise of quality that's so on point, it just fits. It feels completely at home, even in the most demanding markets on the planet. So let's see what that looks like in the real world. All right, now for the fun part, strategy in action. And to show that this isn't just talk, the CEO points to one place where this whole vision is absolutely crushing it, Asia Pacific, and specifically Tokyo. He calls it the crown jewel. So why Japan? Well, the CEO says the brand feels completely at home there. And it's not a lucky guess. It's because Japanese culture itself is built on the exact same pillars ON is championing: craftsmanship, precision, that relentless pursuit of design excellence. So you see, this isn't just about selling a bunch of stuff. This is about finding a true cultural fit, a real harmony. And boy, did that harmony pay off. The new flagship store they opened in Ginza, it was an absolute monster. We're talking record demand right out of the gate. And get this, it posted the highest monthly sales of any ON store in the entire world. Think about that. The Tokyo store literally became the physical manifestation of their whole premium strategy. And that success in Japan wasn't just a one-off. Nope, it was the spark that lit a fire across the whole region. They saw a mind-blowing 109.2% growth in Asia Pacific. A place that the CEO said used to be a new frontier is now one of their biggest growth engines. And it's all about connecting with that younger, super design-savvy customer. Okay, so they've got this premium foundation locked down, so what's next? Well, the CEO then pointed to two big engines of growth that are really pushing them forward: community and apparel. It's a really clever 1-2 punch. On one hand, you've got them doubling down on their existing fans, their community. These people are coming back more often, and what's really interesting, they're buying across different categories. And then, on the other hand, you have apparel. And apparel is becoming this huge new entry point, like a brand new front door for people to discover the whole world of ON. Now, this is super important. The way they think about apparel is key. The CEO says it's not an add-on. Instead, he calls it a company within the company. What that really means is they're not treating this like some afterthought to their shoe business. Oh no, they're building it out as its own powerful, standalone thing. And when you do that, you create this awesome growth loop. Check it out. First, the apparel attracts people who might have never bought their shoes. Second, once those people are in, they start shopping more often and their baskets are bigger. And third, all of this just fuels a whole new wave of growth across the entire business. It's a classic flywheel effect, and it's working. But look, you can have the best vision in the world. You can have these great growth engines. But if you can't actually deliver, it all falls apart. You have to execute. And that brings us to the engine room, the operational foundation that makes it all possible. Yeah, the CEO made it really clear that playing at this level sets an incredibly high standard. I mean, think about it. You can't sell a premium emotion if your packages are late or your inventory is a mess. It just doesn't work. So to make sure they can deliver on that promise, they're basically rebuilding their whole internal operating system from the ground up. And you can see the shift right here. They're going from the old, slow way of doing things, super long lead times, old school planning, to a whole new way. The new way is all about being faster, smarter, and way more agile. We're talking shorter lead times, intelligent planning tools, and using things like AI to power the whole operation. It's about becoming a much more responsive company.
But for all this talk about AI and tech and smart tools, the CEO brought it right back home to the people. He made it a point to say that at the very core of this whole thing, it's the passion of their team that makes it all work, that human energy. He says that's their real secret weapon. That's what sets them apart.
So let's wrap this up. The big takeaway here is that On isn't just in the business of making shoes. They are meticulously engineering a feeling, an emotion. It's an emotion that's built on amazing design, proven out in a culture that gets it, and delivered to your doorstep with incredible execution. And that really leaves you wondering, right? If the game is now about building and selling an emotion, what's the next frontier for premium sportswear? What comes next?